Hello, this is the read aloud for the Unit 1 test, Literature with a Purpose, modified version. This is the read aloud for questions 10 through 12 from the Red Badge of Courage. Be sure that you have listened to the full excerpt from the Red Badge of Courage prior to answering these questions. There will also be a read aloud for questions 13 to 15 from the Light of Gandhi's Lamp that accompanies this recording as well. Let's begin with number 10 from the Red Badge of Courage. One theme that emerges over the course of the novel is that war is a savage, ugly affair that permanently changes those soldiers who survive it. How does this section of the novel work to develop that theme? Answer option 1. By intentionally depicting Henry's mother, who lives her life in safety, in such a negative fashion, the novel suggests that those who do not personally experience war often have to have unrealistic or incorrect conceptions of it. Answer option 2. By showing the internal struggle that Henry endures as he decides whether or not to enlist in the army, the novel creates a scenario in which Henry is shown to have an instinctive understanding of the dangers of war from the very start. Answer option 3. By establishing that Henry initially views war as wholly noble and soldiers as entirely gallant and heroic, the novel creates a situation in which Henry's actual experiences as a soldier in a war will fundamentally change his understanding of it. Please pause the recording and choose an answer to question 10. Question 11. What does the fact that Henry imagines battles as involving heavy crowns and high castles reveal? Answer option 1. Henry believes that war will not be a serious life event, but rather like a dreamlike state of being. Answer option 2. Henry's idea of warfare has been heavily influenced, not by experience or reality, but by the heroic tales he has grown up with. Answer option 3. Henry wants to live the life of a simple farmer, but feels as though his country needs him to be a heroic warrior. Please pause the recording and answer question 11. Question 12. Henry's mother continues to work at milking the cow and peeling potatoes as she talks with Henry. How does her behavior help demonstrate the role of farming families in 19th century America? Answer option 1. It demonstrates that the work on the farm must be done by men rather than women if it is to be completed effectively. Answer option 2. It helps suggest that parents often sought to distract themselves with trivial tasks rather than face difficult truth at the time. Answer option 3. It helps suggest the high level of effort required by all family members of a family living on a farm at that time. Please pause the recording and answer question 12. At this point in time, we have finished all questions that go along with new readings on this test, and we will now answer 3 additional questions that come from The Light of Gandhi's Lamp. Please refer to Explorations in Literature, your online textbook, for a complete version of this narrative and for the read aloud if needed. In The Light of Gandhi's Lamp, Hilary Kronberg Inglis writes of fleeing from real bullets and an anti-apartheid protest. We had run faster than our legs could carry us from the young white boys with machine guns perched on top of the Caspers, boys that looked just like my older brothers. What does this passage capture about Inglis's understanding of the situation in her country? Answer option 1. It captures her sense of how apartheid had divided her country against itself and turned ordinary people into enemies of one another. Answer option 2. It captures her understanding that she was willing to sacrifice her own life in order to topple an unjust regime. Answer option 3. It captures her sense of exhilaration and joy at standing up for justice and what she believed to be right. Please pause the recording and choose an answer to number 13. Question 14. Again, refer to Explorations in Literature for a complete version of this narrative and for a read aloud. Based on her descriptions in The Light of Gandhi's Lamp, how did her experiences as a young adult in apartheid-era South Africa affect Hilary Kronberg Inglis? Answer option 1. Inglis's experiences taught her that brutality and violence from the authorities must be countered with armed resistance if injustice is to be overcome. Answer option 2. Inglis's experiences taught her that the struggle to fix injustice and inequality demands that ordinary people face their fears and take risks. Answer option 3. Inglis's experiences taught her that those in power during the apartheid era suffered from oppression just as those who protested suffered. Please pause your recording and choose an answer to number 14. Question 15. Again, refer to Explorations in Literature for a complete version of the narrative and read aloud as needed. Read the excerpt from The Light of Gandhi's Lamp, in which Hilary Kronberg Inglis describes some of the ways in which anti-apartheid activists were said to have died while in police custody. Like other people detained by the police for anti-apartheid activities, the details of his suicide were odd and suspicious. A detainee had slipped on a bar of soap or jumped from the 10th floor. How does this passage affect the text? Answer option 1. It helps convey the sense among many white South Africans that the deaths of anti-apartheid activists were the sad but unavoidable cost that must be paid in order to achieve equality. Answer option 2. It helps convey that Inglis, though she was an anti-apartheid activist herself, recognized the humanity of the police and believed that some were appalled by these odd and suspicious deaths. Answer option 3. It helps convey how questionable the official explanations of these deaths were, and it conveys the deep distrust that anti-apartheid activists felt towards the authorities. Please pause the recording and choose an answer to question 15. At this time, you have finished the read aloud and passages for all 15 questions on your Unit 1 test. Please be sure to review all of your questions and answers, and do not hesitate to reach out to your teacher if you have any questions before you submit.